Time for the Poet Byron Final Modified A feature. I think Freddie Miller and Sterling Perkins were trying to work out what time dinner was tomorrow. And who was buying, but I'm not sure. All right. You ready? Let's set the field for you for the Poet Byron Final Modifieds. You got Scuba there. What's going on with Scuba? On the pole, the 2T machine of Josh True. On the outside of him, the 43X of Dan Mueller.
Inside row 2, the 33 car Brian Steens. To his outside, the 71 of Jeff James.
Third row to the inside, the 36 machine of J.C. Wyman, Larry Foote on his outside.
Inside row 4 out of Ravenwood, the 78 car Derek Hicks. To his outside, it's going to be the 70 of Jesse Dennis.
Fifth row to the inside, the 13H of Eric Canna on the outside, the 43 of Brian Foote.
Inside row 06, the 02 of John Davis outside, the 59 of Jared Steens.
Seventh row, the 22 Kevin Palmer on the outside, the Kirby Steens.
Inside row 8, the 83 of Ben Wolverton outside, the 1M of James Morgan. Rounding out the field, the V31 of Todd Van Eaton.
Race fans on your feet, here comes the Poet Byron Final Modifieds. All right, 18 laps on the scoreboard. Pace truck pulling off the racetrack. Final race of the night. Race fans, thanks for coming out here on Southwestern Community College tonight. As we'll do a little modifying action. Josh True, Dan Mueller, Ryan Steens, Jeff James, J.C. Wyman, Larry Foote, Derek Hicks, Jesse Dennis, Eric Canna, Brian Foote, John Davis, Jared Steens, Kevin Parman, Kirby Steens. Here they come off turn number 4. Let's go racing!
Josh True going to lead us into turn number 1, but Dan Mueller in the X43. He's going to work to the outside, but open up the door to the bottom for Ryan Steens. Shot out of a cannon up the bottom side. Steens, your race leader.
Great job by the youngster of the 33 machine, trying to bring Jeff James with him. Dan Mueller slingshots the outside of Josh True for that second spot. Ryan Steens, he'll be the race leader for lap 1, but Larry Foote, he'll work to the outside of Josh True as well.
Dan Mueller going to fight back on the outside. Is 3 wide further back in the pack, but out of turn number 2, it continues to be Ryan Steens and Dan Mueller, a 2-car battle at the front early on.
Jeff James in 3rd, Larry Foote 4th, battle for 5th. Jesse Dennis has made his way up nicely on the bottom side of the racetrack. He'll battle for 5th. Ryan Steens still hold on to the race lead. Dan Mueller 2nd, Jeff James 3rd, 4th is Larry Foote.
Dan Mueller with a good shot on the high side this time. At the bottom side, momentum's going to carry the 33 machine of Ryan Steens to the front one more time. Best battle right now, shaping up back there for 5th as J.C. Wyman goes to work on Jesse Dennis in the 70 machine, but Brian Foote, he's going to make it 3 wide.
Oh, Brian Foote, what a solid move by him. He's around the outside of J.C. Wyman. Brian Foote, he'll take over the 5th spot in car number 43.
Wyman going to pull it to the inside of the 70 car this time of Jesse Dennis, but Jesse Dennis going to have the momentum to pull him off the exit at turn number, keep that spot. Back up front, it continues to be Ryan Steens, but Dan Mueller trying everything he can to find his way around.
Guy who's highly motivated, that's the 43 machine of Brian Foote. He's going to sling to the outside of Larry Foote. The battle's on for the 4th spot in turn 1, but Brian Foote, he is coming to the house like a house of fire.
Dan Mueller's going to try the bottom side this time off turn number 2. He's going to use that same groove that the 33 machine of Steens is using. Down into turn number 2, they're going to be bumper to bumper, but Dan Mueller's going to step on the loud pedal of the exit at turn number 3 and 4.
He's working the top side. Ryan Steens on the bottom. Does he leave him enough room? No, he doesn't. He slams the door on his face. It's Ryan Steens still out in front, and Brian Foote is once more. He's going to work on Jeff James in 3rd for that turn 2. There they come off the exit.
Brian Foote going to be all over the back bumper of Jeff James as you call it down the back straightaway. That battle for third place on the Speedway. Brian's really letting the 43 machine roll deep into the corners. He's going to be right up alongside James as they battle it out.
He beats everybody into the corner. Now he's going to get right to the outside of that 71 as Dan Mueller's going to try to drive around the outside of Brian Steens. The battle's on off the exit of turn 2.
Off the exit at turn number 2, Steens up the inside, but Mueller has held his line this time. They're going to be side by side down into turn number 3. Here goes the X43 of Dan Mueller. He slides in front through 3 and 4, but can he hold it off the exit at turn number 3 and 4?
It's going to be his, he's the leader this time by at the line. Ryan Steen's going to try to throw it in sideways. Oh, what a great job by the youngster. Dan Mueller's your race leader, trying to pinch him down. But Ryan Steen's not going away. He's going to come right back up the inside. They're wheel to wheel at turn 3.
Ryan Steen's trying to keep that machine tucked on the bottom side of the Speedway, keep that moisture locked under them wheels. Off the exit at turn number 4, though, Dan Mueller a little bit stronger on the high side, but it looks like Steens, he's a little bit stronger on the exit of 1 and 2.
The top 2 guys battling are bringing in Jeff James and Brian Foote. Jeff James, he worked to the inside of Ryan Steens. He's going to lose a little bit of spot. That opens the door for Brian Foote to come to the outside. They battle for third now in turn 3, and they're all chasing Dan Mueller.
Chasing they are, and you've got a 3-wide battle that time for the runner-up spot. Jeff James right there on the inside of the Speedway. He's going to be around Brian Foote at the line. His foot's caught behind the 33 machine, but no, Brian's going to make it 3-wide. Right up the middle comes Foote.
Ryan Steen trying to diamond off the corner, but Brian Foote's right to the outside of Jeff James. What a battle here for the Poet Battery Refined and Modifieds. Brian Foote switches lanes. He's going to drift through the high side through the middle. He's going to try to go around the outside, and he's going to make the pass.
Brian Foote giving the runner-up spot. Picking up 2 spots with 8 laps to go. Now you got a pair of veterans at the front of the field. Dan Mueller trying to chase down a feature victory. Brian Foote in tow, and Foote still got his back bumper full of the 33 machine of Ryan Steens, having a great run.
Brian Foote, Dan Mueller trying to get back to the victory lane here at the Adams County Speedway. They're both out in front, both veteran drivers. Dan Mueller, the 5-time drive for 5, 4-time track champion here at the Speedway, is going to have to hold off a hard charge from Brian Foote. Brian Foote is still a little bit slower as Mueller's a 1/10 quicker on the backstretch.
Keep an eye on that 5th and 6th place battle on the Speedway. Belongs to Jesse Dennis in the 70, but he's got his back bumper literally full of the 59 machine of Jared Steens. A little bit of contact that last time through 1 and 2. Keep an eye on those two as they go at it for 5th.
Ben Wolverton out in front, Connor 83. He's slowing off the pace, trying to get off the racetrack and get away from the leaders. He does. Dan Mueller takes it down into turn number 3. Brian Foote given chase by 2 car lengths. Jesse Dennis going to tried to shoot the gap between Jeff James and Ryan Steens with the 70 machine, trying to find a hole. He's working on James for 4th.
Jeff James up the inside, but Jesse Dennis working the outside of the 70 machine. James with a good run this time on the bottom. See if he can clear the 33 machine of Steens, but he's not going to do it. Great run one more time off the corner for Steens, but here comes the 70 of Dennis.
A lot of horsepower up the inside. He has to get out and let James go through the middle. James, had his hands full through the middle of 3 and 4. Might have catapulted him to the inside of Ryan Steens. Has to fall back in his tracks. Now Jesse Dennis lost 3 or 4 positions, or 3 or 4 car lengths to the 71, but here comes Jared Steens to the inside.
Back up front, both the leaders start maybe losing a little bit of the handle on their cars, starting to push up the Speedway a little bit harder to keep it glued to the bottom as Brian Foote maybe starting to reel in Dan Mueller just a little bit as we wind down to just 3 laps to go on the Speedway. Here is Brian Foote right on his back bumper.
Brian Foote is there. He's trying to work on a veteran racer. You got Ryan Steens, Jeff James having a great battle, and Ryan Steens holds them off one more time. Brian Foote in turn 3. He'll go to the bottom side. Mueller slides, swings wide of turn 4. The battle's on with 2 to go.
Dan Mueller has got to play some defense at this point. He's still hanging on to that race lead, but here comes Brian Foote. Foote trying to work up the inside, but the 43 machine's going to slide out from under him through down turn 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway they go one more time. It continues to be Dan Mueller.
This time by the white flag is going to come out. Brian Foote really hustling that race car through the middle of 3 and 4. Off the corner, the white flag is out for Dan Mueller and Brian Foote, Jeff James, Ryan Steens, Jesse Dennis, your top 5.
Brian Foote's going to take one more shot at it. Down into turn number 1 and 2. He's going to slide it in as deep as he can. Not going to make it work. Foote's going to get back in that loud pedal one last time. Down the back straightaway. Here we go into 3 one last time.
Into turn 3. He's got 2 more corners to get it done. Mueller slides a little bit higher. Dan's going to hold them off turn 4, the 43s. A pair of them. Dan Mueller, Brian Foote, Jeff James, Ryan Steens, Jesse Dennis, Jared Steens, Kirby Steens, John Davis, Larry Foote, and J.C. Wyman round out your top 10.